I don't often get time to make videos like this, and the reason for that is that I work 35 hours a week, and then on top of that I do actually work on data processing projects as a freelance data processor. And I know that a lot of people don't believe that, but it's actually true. And then on top of all this, I get up on this YouTube channel. For the last 3.5 years I've been teaching a lot of stuff. And then you add all of that, and then you get all these wonderful comments that come into your channel, and every YouTuber gets these. Every one of them. It just depends on what they're doing as to how many they get. And let me tell you something, when you're teaching as much as I have, you get a lot. I'm not kidding you. And you sit there and you read all these comments and you try to respond to each and every one. I'll tell you what, it gets overwhelming after a while. It really does. So a lot of times the people that comment to you pretty much get lost in the shuffle. And you feel a real YouTuber would really feel awful about this. I know, I really do. I really feel awful every time I'm not able to respond in a quick manner to people who have written me. But that's how the YouTube cookie crumbles. Really. It's just the way it works. And you're sitting there, you're doing your DPro work, you're doing your retail work, and then on top of all that, you're deciding what you're going to actually teach next. Okay, and that becomes difficult too. So you're trying to determine what you're going to teach, and all the yada 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 and the whole 9 yards. And then you just, like I say, you just get to the point where you just can't respond to everybody. No one human being could. So, and of course you get to feeling bad because you know these people, they're sitting there, they're wanting you to respond back to them, and then all of a sudden when you don't, they get insulted and then they leave. And then you say, oh man, I just sent my audience away. But anyway, how do I decide what I'm going to actually put on here? Well, number one, it's based on what I'm able to learn quickly. Remember, some of this stuff I'm still learning just as much as I'm presenting to you. Two, it's a matter of what I feel you need to know now. Let me tell you, so when I first got onto YouTube, I was just going to teach data processing and that was it. But every time I met somebody, I was seeing, you know, they didn't know a whole lot about mathematics. They didn't know a whole lot about accounting. They didn't know a whole lot of this. And the more people I met, the more I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to teach more than just computer tech. So I just started getting up here and I taught all kinds of stuff. And the more stuff I teach, the more I find out that I got a lot more to teach. The volume of knowledge that I see is very much lacking in our society is just, it's mind-blowing. At least around here it is. I don't know how it is in your area, but I'm telling you what, around here it's mind-blowing what people don't know. So, anyway, my first response will be to D. Lukens 9, and this is what I'm going to say. Obviously, you've never met the people I've met. If you were here and you had met these kind of people, I bet you your jaw would just drop. You'd be sitting there going, how did these people ever get out of school? I'm beginning to wonder that myself. But it doesn't matter how much they don't know now. All that matters is what I want them to know at this point. The simple fact of the matter is that if I feel that project managers need to know computer code and business analysts need to really know FASBs and so on and so forth, and I can go on and on and on with this, if I really feel that all this needs to be dealt with, then I feel it is my responsibility to get on YouTube and tell them what I think they should know. I didn't like the college geometry teacher who had never read a lick of Euclid's Elements, so I got on here and taught Euclid's Elements. And yes, I do have FASB lessons on my YouTube channel. I just haven't really gotten them organized or anything like that, but I do have them. They're very much lacking. I need to get more of them up here. If I feel that business analysts need to know what's in those FASBs, then I need to present it. It's sort of like what my grandfather taught me, put up or shut up. So I'm putting up and they're shutting up. So if I feel these business analysts need to know FASBs, I'll present FASBs. If I feel that Geometry teachers need to know Euclid's Elements. I'll present Euclid's Elements. And whether they ever learn it or not is irrelevant, because I know I have a lot of people in this audience who have been watching my videos, and they are learning. So if the people I'm targeting do not listen to me, that's fine, because I have a whole bunch of others coming up through the wings that are listening to me, and they are learning. And hopefully one day they will become the future business analysts, the future project managers, and the future data processors that I want them to be. Some will, some won't. But I know that if I ever do form a major corporation of my own, I will expect my project managers to know computer code. I will expect my business analysts to have read all the FASBs. If they don't, I'm not hiring them. Simple as that. And if I have a data processor, by golly, he's going to know how to code programs and interpret those programs thereafter. If he does it, he's not going to work for me. So that's the way I solve the problem. Well, anyway, I've replied enough to D. Lukens 9. Let's go ahead and reply to some of these other people that have been writing me. True Italian 626, I thank you for watching. I'm glad I'm able to please you with all my videos. David Matthews, I do agree with you. You need to get to know the women you're taking with you to Victoria's Secret. Let me tell you something. You need to know about their health, about their taste and style, so on and so forth, so you can help them shop, basically. When it comes to the Christmas shows, you're probably right that Victoria's Secret is a little more lenient about who they hire for their Christmas shows than any other time. But yeah, a lot of their shows that they host, you got to work for a professional modeling agency or you don't get in. The way it works. I don't like the way it works, but hey, that's the way it works. Jennifer Jasinski, let me tell you something. If you don't know the denier of the bristles in your toothbrush, you're going to get your teeth brushed off. Okay? It's not the fact you're going to get food brushed off your teeth, you're going to actually get your teeth brushed off. And let me tell you something, that denier becomes very important if you ever go skydiving and you have to release your parachute. You have a weak denier, you're going to hit the ground. So, and if you're buying a flag to display proudly in your front yard, I would suggest checking the denier on that, because if you don't, you're going to have a flag that's going to tear up in about 5 seconds in a thunderstorm, and then you're going to have to replace it all over again. Let me tell you something, those flags aren't cheap. So there you go. Vitek Ivitskib. Vitek Ivitskib. Whatever. Anyway, he seems to think that I'm a poet. Okay. I don't think I'm a poet, but alright. LazyBoy72, thanks for defending me. I tell you, when you hit the real world and you have to start paying the bills on your own, you really know what financial stability is all about. I'm going to tell you something. Financial stability has nothing to do with being rich. It has something to do with being out of debt on a regular basis. When you're not in debt on a regular basis, your health is much better. You can relax. You're not stressed out all the time. Okay? Ryan Green, you said I was young. Okay. Anything else? Jose Miami 91, thanks for watching. Mexter00, I don't know that I'm exactly Dr. Phil, but I'm doing my best. New Age Videos. Let me tell you something. When you're talking about grade or middle school, I can almost understand being a little lenient. But when you get to high school, you have to keep in mind the bad habits you develop in high school will carry with you all the way into college and eventually into a job. And you just can't go to the workforce and wear pajama pants. Not unless you're the CEO of a company. Otherwise, you really can't do that. So that's why I tell people, you know, if you're going into high school, you got to act like you're going into a job. Because one of these days, you really will go into a job, and you can't act like what you do in high school. It doesn't work that way. And logos on shirts, you betcha. I want those companies to pay me if I'm going to advertise their product. I mean, I'm giving them a ton of free advertising. What the thunder's that? What are they doing for me? Providing me with a soft drink? I'm paying them for that. So I want to know what else they're going to do for me. King Mantis 9. I try to help the oppressed. I really do. One of the things I regret in my videos is a lot of times I end up sounding like a dang bully. And I don't ever want to sound like a dang bully. I really don't. That's why I'm not too fond of rant videos. I try to stay away from that as much as possible. But when I was a kid, I used to see a lot of injustices, and I used to just hide off in the corner and try to disappear. Well, that didn't solve the injustices, it just made matters worse. And so therefore, I do a little bit of standing up nowadays. But I try to be reserved on that. I try to only pick topics that I think really need to be addressed. Otherwise, I just don't care. In other words, if you rant a few times, you're going to be very effective. You keep ranting all the time, and nobody's going to listen to you. They're going to think you're a dang fool. Janoski Ons. OMG, Beauty Crush, let me tell you something. There's a fine line between being a little shy and having full-blown social anxiety disorder. And unless you're a psychologist or you're a trained data processor where you are actually analyzing a lot of data, then it's very difficult to tell whether somebody has a little bit of shyness or a full-blown social anxiety disorder. And if you make an error in judgment on that, you could be sentencing that person to a possible suicide. So don't stand there with the OMG, because one of these days you're going to be saying, OMG, I wish I had not done what I did, because now that person's 6 feet under and I could have helped them. So don't stand there with those OMGs to me. Think about that. Gertrude601, I'm glad to have assisted you in nail polish. Elon YLJ. Sometimes I just don't get on the camera because I don't look very good. I get real tired or whatever. I've had a long work week and I look disheveled, and I just don't want to appear on camera disheveled. I really don't. Another reason is, when people come to me, I'd rather them learn something from me rather than just watch me. If you come here just to see me, I'm not all that handsome. I'm not like Schwarzenegger or Stallone or something like that. That's not what I am. I'm just a very good teacher. I'd rather you learn stuff from me rather than just come to see me. Robin Foxer has just come to my attention that you probably don't have kids. You've never seen them emulate things that they've seen on TV or on the internet. So until you've had kids of your own, or you've babysat a bunch of kids and watched them emulate things, don't tell me about what I do and do not know. Okay, I have friends, they have kids, I've watched them emulate things they've seen on TV and the internet, so don't tell me about what they do or do not emulate. Please. I've done enough research on the subject to tell you that you're absolutely out of line saying things like that. Failed Dictator. I agree with you, the new YouTube page sucks, and you know what? In a couple minutes there'll probably be another YouTube page. It really will. YouTube almost acts like retail. Have you ever been to a store and then a few months later you go back to the store and everything's rearranged? You can't find anything. Then you have to go to the store clerk and you have to find out where all your stuff is at. And that wastes your time and the store clerk's time, and it's a real pain in the behind. Well, that's what I think of YouTube on that one. Divine Falcon. What was the point of my Ottawa, Illinois video? Well, the point of the fact is, I personally enjoy the Looking for Lincoln Heritage Coalition. I think their signs are absolutely cool. The history's cool on them. The activities for the kids is really cool. I think it's great. The whole thing is great, except for one thing. Their map leaves much to be desired for. They are aware of this. I'm aware of this. They're now allowing me to be the map for them. Okay? And so what I was trying to do is get somebody up there to try to find that sign so I didn't have to travel 2.5 hours and not find what I was looking for. Well, finally, one of the people in the Tourism Bureau took a picture of the sign, sent it back to me. Then I went up 2.5 hours, and I actually had a guy who actually walked me to the sign, and I videotaped it. So that was the point of the video. Super Lycan Lord. Well, I hate it when I get too tired to make a video, then I make a garbage video, and it really doesn't sound good. And that's what I had there. I meant to say Katniss instead of Catrice, but when you get that tired, you just slip up. Che Higgins, one of the things I encountered with your channel was I mispronounced your channel, and I am terribly sorry about that. So, it's not so much the time of day that I do a video, it's the fact of whether I'm well rested when I do a video or not. And there you go. Yeah, I was a little more excited in the Kony 2012. It's also the subject matter I'm dealing with. I was very agitated about Kony 2012, and that's why I did what I did. I try not to get too agitated with too many things, but after a while, you just have to stand up and speak out. That's just the way it works. Rocky Balboa 1001. Elton John's new career. Do I really look like Elton John to you? Okay. I don't think that's... yeah. Taco Demon 210. One of the things I was trying to do is do by example what I wanted others to do when it came to the Reply Girls. I didn't want them trashing their channel all the time. That just lowers their self-esteem enough where they could potentially commit suicide, and I didn't want that. So I was saying, you know, there's a far more constructive way to deal with the Reply Girls than to try to trash them all the time. Besides, you get in the habit of doing that, you're going to trash other people, and some of those people aren't emotionally as sound as the Reply Girls, and so therefore. Tony Alvarado. Financially stable means the following. It means you're out of debt. It has nothing to do with being rich. Everything I own in here, I own. Period. I'm not rich by any means, but I do own what I do own, and I'm proud of what I do own. So, that's what I mean by financially stable. You can be financially stable and not be rich at all. Smile for Killcom. I've already covered the Reply Girls on that. Skip Cube, you're welcome to watch my videos anytime you want. Deconzo11. Why did I send you the reply to Q&A with Lena? This is explained in my video, Social Media 101. Just know that when you go on to a highly controversial and very popular video and you leave a comment, there's a good chance you're going to get a comment in return. That's the way it works. If you don't believe me, tough. Chevros, Peter DeLeo. I made the video so that we could get the answers that you're looking for. Hopefully somebody will answer them. Jupiter Returns. Didn't notice the pudding bowl haircut, otherwise I would have mentioned it. Fluffy Wuffy, thanks for watching. Hayden Scott. Too much from the internet? I don't think I obviously get enough from the internet. And that's why I sometimes get myself into a lot of trouble. Audio recovered. I'm glad you enjoyed my response to your video. Jake Like a Chicken. Congratulations, you got the first comment on one of my videos. Congratulations. Hope that makes you happy. UK Dub 2010. I'm glad you respect me for my views on the rules of high school. Tin Can 89. Genius? I guess in a way you could call me a genius if you remember one thing. A real genius is a person that learns as much as they teach. That's what makes a good teacher. A teacher will learn as much as they teach. So, in that one respect, I am kind of a genius. Because I learn as much as I teach. And I love to learn as much as I teach. XX956, X-Kush XX. Did you come to see me, or did you actually come to learn from me? That's a big difference. As I said before, it's not. I don't want people to come to see me. I want them to learn something. I want them to come away with more knowledge than what they got when they had when they first came to see me. So it really, like I said, my appearance really has nothing to do with that. The last person, I'm not even going to pronounce their username. That's one of the things I wanted to talk to you people about. When you make a username for YouTube, make sure it's something that's really catchy. That way people come back to you more and more. If you have a real funky username, they're going to be coming to you a lot less. That's just a guarantee. I'm glad you think my videos are cool. Hopefully you'll keep coming back. And that's pretty much all I've got to say on this video. What I'm going to do for you people is I'm going to continue presenting topics to you that I feel you should know. It doesn't matter whether you think you should know them or not. It's a matter of what I think you should know. And by golly, I'm not going to hide things from you. I'm not the college geometry teacher that didn't read Euclid's Elements and has no intention of presenting it. I'm not the accounting teacher that stood there as a business analyst and did not know a single FASB, had never read one. I'm not that kind of person. What I am is a full-blown data processor who is getting sick and tired of seeing kids come into my store that do not know that this wonderful nickel is worth 5 cents and this wonderful dime here, let me pull it up here, this is worth 10 cents. Getting sick and tired of seeing stuff like that. I'm getting sick and tired of high schoolers coming in here and telling me they don't know how an on-off switch works. Getting sick of that. And as long as I meet people like that, you betcha I'm going to throw all these videos up there. I don't care if they learn or not. I'm hoping that other people will. And maybe those other people will outshine the ones that refuse to learn. You refuse to learn, well, you're going to be left in the dust. That's the way it works. And I'm going to make sure you're left in the dust. And a note to the bad teachers. These are the teachers that refuse to teach what they're supposed to be teaching. What I feel they should be teaching. Let me tell you something. If you won't teach, I will. And that makes you look bad. Now for the good teachers, let me tell you something. I'm proud of you. I hope you continue your work. I'm glad you're around, and you just keep right on doing what you do best. But you bad teachers, you get on alert. I'm coming after you, and you don't want me after you. I promise you that. I'm too good. So, again, good teachers, keep up the good work. Bad teachers, you're on alert. I mean it. I'm here, and I'm not going away. Period. You don't like it? Tough. So that's all I got to say for this particular video. I will thank you all for watching. I will continue my educational stuff. And yes, if you want to know some of these more bizarre and unusual beauty secrets, you've come to the right place. I may not be beautiful, but I do know the facts that'll keep you alive. I will tell you more in a future video, so stay tuned.